Hey there, welcome to a special episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. I've decided to show you some of the little bits and pieces that I have when I'm not actually cooking, because most of you probably think that all I do is I eat fancy food all the time, but quite honestly I don't. So I cook once a week, as you know, because you've seen one video a week, which is good. And then the other days of the week, I'm at a takeaway shop 3 days a week. So that generally takes care of 3 meals. And the other days, I am eating fruit and veg and trying to be extra healthy. And one of the things that I want to share with you is something that I cook normally on my day off, which happens to be a Thursday, which is why most of the times the videos drop on a Thursday or a Friday. Is something that I do when I have a little bit of a sleep in and I'm not really doing much for the day. It is a breakfast or a brunch. You could have it as a lunch, or you could have it as a light dinner while it's starting to get a bit too warm to be in the kitchen cooking all day and you want something fancy. This recipe was actually introduced to me very long time ago, when I happened to actually be doing Weight Watchers. And the recipe, I liked it, but I have adapted it so much better now that asparagus is literally at my fingertips. Not for much longer, I believe the season's almost over, but for you that like asparagus, you're going to love this really simple brunch. So come on in and I'll show you what we need. So currently at the moment where I work, asparagus is on special for normally about $2 a bunch. And let me talk you through things that you may not know. So a bunch is literally that. Now what I do is when I buy it, I put it in a glass of water and I leave it in the fridge like that. And it will keep. At one stage I was buying 2 bunches when they were on special. And if I only had this once a week, they're still fine because I've kept them in water, just like some flowers. Now, when I cook this, I like to steam it in the microwave. This has been in the family for a very long time. It's actually a steamer. All you do is you put a little bit of water in the bottom, asparagus on here, leave your little vents open, and we're going to cook that for 2 minutes. I normally just use a normal cheese, like grated cheese that I've had in the freezer. However, I've decided to go fancy, and I tried this for the first time on Monday morning. And we had this really fancy cheese, which is garlic and pepper club cheddar. So basically all I did was I cut it up into little chunks and I put this on top. And then you want just some bread of choice. I've been using a multi-grain style bread. I've just had to change the bag because I need bread for next week's recipe. So I've picked out the bigger pieces, but I still may end up buying some more bread. So this bread that I have is a multi-grain bread, which looks like this. So because I'm at the beginning of the loaf and I've stolen the middle pieces, I'm going to use 3 pieces today. So all you do is you pop these in the toaster. So you toast your bread, and then I'll be back and I'm going to show you how to do the asparagus. The only other thing you're going to need is a grill. My grill that is attached to my oven hardly gets used, and it takes a million years to grill anything. So I have this little handy toaster grill thing, which is great for doing cheese on toast with tomato. But if you want a variation, this is so much fancier. And if you want to go super fancy, feel free to do a poached egg with it, or even some smoked salmon, and make it into a full-on meal. So once our toast is ready, we're going to pop it on here. So I'll show you how we do the asparagus. So a bunch of asparagus. Oh, and when I used to do this recipe, it was actually tinned asparagus, which is okay, but once you've had the fresh asparagus, you really don't want to go back to the tinned asparagus. And once asparagus is expensive again, I will not be eating this. I'll probably change it to cheese and tomato because there is so many good tomatoes. I've got to show you. I'll probably try and do another variation of this with these really beautiful tomatoes, which are called heirloom tomatoes, and they look so fancy. So I'm going to try and do another episode like this next week, and then I'm just going to try and do some easy ideas so that you don't feel like you need to open a tin to make dinner. So that's asparagus. If you turn it over, it actually tells you a recipe. So pop a bit of water in this, cold water, not hot water. You don't have to cook it in the microwave, but to me, 2 minutes is good. It's not cooked super firm through, but it's done okay because we're putting it in the grill anyway. So into your microwave for 2 minutes. And I normally find if I have this does get me through to dinner time, which is what I'm cooking later. Today it's a sweet treat, spoiler alert. Or it will just get me through to if sometimes I don't have dinner, especially on a Thursday. Some Thursdays I'm basically struck down with either fatigue or headaches, or I end up having to go to the gym and then I'll go to see my friend and get some lunch at where she works as well. So naughty me. But anyway, toast is ready, so I'm going to go grab that. So at the moment, while I'm working in a really great fruit and veg shop that sells so much delicious fresh produce and gourmet fancy cheeses and stuff, I'm normally obsessed with chili. Like anything with chili I will get, but I seem to have maybe figured out what triggers my migraines, which I believe is some sort of a chili powder that they put on chips. Now I love any like potato chips or corn chips with chili powder on them, and I'm finding that if I don't have those, and I try not to get too stressed out through the other 6 days a week I work, hopefully Thursday I should be able to start getting some energy back. But also I've got to make sure that I do get all my gym days done, otherwise my Thursday is gone with a gym day as well. So we need actually 2 knives because we are going to cut the asparagus. Now I have learnt this as a tip. Don't be tempted to cut the asparagus while you haven't cooked it because it's very hard to cook. I did find this out the hard way. So that after 2 minutes we have got beautiful asparagus spears. They're really hot, by the way, so I'm just going to let them cool for a little bit. We'll get this cheese. So you could get whatever cheese you want. I normally use grated cheese. I think back when I was doing this, I don't want to say a million years ago, even though it feels like it. It was actually the processed cheese and the slices that you had to unpeel. And I used to have this as a lunch because it is very low fat, especially the way I'm using the bread. I think at the time I was probably using multigrain bread, but supermarket bread. Since I've started buying this sort of a bread, I find that I'll have it with jam on it, and I'll normally only have it a couple of days a week, normally when I've got a bit more time for breakfast. I find that it makes me feel fuller, and it doesn't really seem to sort of sit on my stomach as much as well. Some breads can really sit in my throat or on my stomach and make me feel quite ill. And I really don't have time for that, I'm sorry. So you just cut your asparagus. So it cuts so much easier when it's cooked. I found that out. Now it's too hot to touch, so I'm going to have to use tongs. Damn tongs. All right. So all you do is you put some of the bottoms on these. Now, you can put sauce on top afterwards. I have tried it with mustard, which is very nice. I've also had barbecue sauce at one stage. Hot chili sauce is a big favourite. Sweet chili sauce is also really good as well. I'm not a fan of tomato sauce, so If you want tomato sauce, you do you. Chutney's nice. Anything with like a chunkiness in it. Or even, I normally just have it like this with a crack of black pepper on top, which there's already pepper in the cheese, so I'm sort of winning on that. And then all you do is you put a few slices of cheese on top. Oh, look at that. I planned it well. No sneaky bit of cheese for me today. All right, we're going to put this under the grill for about 5 minutes, and I will be back. Ooh, look at that. Delicious. Yum. All right, grab yourself an egg flip. Don't know where mine is. Oh, mine's still in the washing up rack from Monday when I had these. So I normally try and buy 2 bunches, whether they're on special or not. And I put 1 bunch per glass. So all you do is you egg flip it out. I can smell the garlic in this cheese. This cheese is so good. So I recommend if you're going to treat yourself to something like this, splurge on some fancy cheese. Look at that. Oh, yum. So much better than what I have been using in the past. All right. Thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been asparagus and cheese on toast. I'll catch you on the next adventure.